Hey guys, today we're doing section 2.8, inequalities and their graphs. So we're not solving inequalities today, we're just going to kind of chat about inequalities and how to graph them. Okay, so inequalities is different than equations. Inequality is a math sentence that contains this is greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, or not equal. That's an equal sign with a line through it. Equations have equal signs. Inequalities normally would just be less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Okay, so what you need to know when we are graphing, let me see if I can, when we're graphing inequalities is, let's see, let's change this up a little bit. First of all, you have to know that this is less than, this is greater than, this is less than or equal to, this is greater than or equal to. The last symbol over here, that is like this. That's just not equal. We don't really use that one a lot, but you do need to know what it is. Okay, so not equal to. So less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. When we go to graph, which I'll do on the next page, what you need to know is if it's not an equals to, if it's just less than or greater than, when we go to graph it, and I'll show you in a minute, you're not going to fill in the circle, okay, which I'll explain in a minute. If it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, you would fill in the circle because it includes that point, okay, which will make more sense when we go to do the graph here in a minute. Okay, so normally, well, we'll get to that next time. Never mind. Forget I talked. Okay, so on these, all we're doing is graphing these. That's all we're doing right now. Okay, tomorrow or the next day we'll actually solve inequalities like we solved equations. But right now we're just working on graphing. Okay, so y, and work on reading it. Y is less than 3. What we're graphing is what does y represent? What numbers are less than 3? Well, there's 2, there's 1, there's 0, there's infinity amounts. So we're going to represent it with a graph. Okay, I try to make my graphs as simple as possible. I want you to have 3 numbers. I always put the number we're talking about in the middle. You have to pick a number larger, so let's just go with 4, and a number smaller. You can go with 2. Okay, since this is just less than, it's not less than or equal to 3, then we just put a circle on 3. It doesn't include 3. It means everything less than 3. So then when you look at your map or your graph, is 2 less than 3 or is 4 less than 3? Well, 2 is less than 3, so that's the way we're going to shade. Okay, and I need to be able to know which side you're shading. Okay, I don't care if you do zigzags or whatever, but I have to be able to know. Okay. So that's all. That's the extent. You do not have to put a whole bunch of numbers. You just need 3 numbers. Number 2. Let's read this one. This is y is greater than or equal to -2. So again, we're trying to graph what y is representing. So we do our line. You can put more numbers if you want. I'm just trying to make it easy. So -2. Now, what is a number bigger than -2? Well, -1, if you want to put 0 there, that's fine, or a positive number. -3. Okay? So then when we go to graph, this is a greater than or equals to. So that means at our -2 we include it. Because that means that this answer includes -2. Over here it did not include the 3. But this is y is greater than or equal to -2. So which, you have to think, which is bigger, -3 or -1? Okay, -1 is bigger. Okay, so you shade in. And that's it. You're done with that problem. So there's a few things that I will check excuse me, on these. One, if you have your numbers in order correctly, if you have either open circle or closed circle, and then if it's shaded correctly. On number 3, x is less than or equal to 1. So again, I'm not an artist. It doesn't have to be perfect. I put 1 in the middle. What's bigger than 1 is 2. What's less than 1 is 0. This is we're representing x. We're representing all the numbers less than or equal to 1. So we have to close the circle. 0 is less than 1. Okay. Now number 4, now if it's written the other way, you can change it if you want, or you can just go with it. So you can change this, but you see how the alligator is eating the G? So if you switch them, it has to keep eating the G. Okay, however you want to do it, this is the same thing. This is where we get confused. So really, this is -6 is less than or equal to G, okay? But again, remember, we are graphing what the G is representing. So this, you really want to read it from the G. G is, you're representing all numbers greater than or equal to -6. -7, -5. Okay, if you looked at it this way, G is greater than or equal to -6. You're wanting to say, what numbers are my G representing? Okay, can you guys hear my baby is crying upstairs? She's trying to nap. So if you hear her screaming, that's her trying to nap. So G is greater than or equal to -6. So we have it shaded in, and we are representing numbers that are greater than -6. So that's going to be this side. So you cannot always just look at which way it's going. You have to see where's my variable? What am I representing? Okay. Okay. So now on these two, you have to come up with the inequality. Okay. So we have to look. So first of all, it's a shaded in. Okay. And it's at -1. So we know it's going to be something -1. We can just make up a variable because it doesn't matter. And is it shaded to greater than or less than? It's shaded to greater than or equal to -1. Okay. Moving down, this one, our number is 5. It's not shaded, so it won't be an equals to. And it's shaded less than the 5. So x is less than 5. It's shaded down here where 4 is less than 6. So that's how we know that it's shaded less. Okay? I think these are our last two, actually. So now you have to come up with the inequality again. So P is not more than 20. Okay, so sometimes you have to really reread these and figure out what is it asking. P is, or what is it saying? P is not more than 20. So can it be more than 20? No, because it says it's not more than 20. So it can't be 21, but it can be 20 is not more than 20. So it can be 20 and it can be less than 20. Okay, sometimes it's easier to write it out and go back and plug it in. P is not more than 20. So can it be 21? No, but it can be 20, 19, 18, all those. Speed limit is 50 miles per hour. So we know it's going to be 50, and we don't have, so we'll just use P. Speed limit is 50, so that's the limit. Okay, that means you can go 50, but are you supposed to go over 50? No, you're not supposed to go over. So again, you're supposed to go 50 or less. That's the limit. You can go 50, but you have to go 50 or less. Okay, and that is it.